Hey, everybody, friends, family, my fellow artists, my fellow boaters, my fellow musicians, my fellow actors. Um, Last week's video got kind of messed up, so welcome to blog number 15. Now, I've been teasing you for a few weeks talking about telling a story about the critter. All right, so it was last winter, and critters try to find places to to sleep. That's warm, like they do back home. Only there's a whole lot more critters down south. Yeah, there's a whole lot more critters. So I was sleeping, and Kibo, you'd think he'd go after critters, but he really wouldn't hurt a fly. He doesn't go after anything or anybody. So I'm sleeping, and I feel blump going across my chest, and I get up, and I said, what the heck is that? So the first time it happened, I thought it might have been Kibo's tail or something. I don't know. Anyway, 2 weeks this is going by, and then I hear it in the walls. And I wake up one morning, and my ear's bleeding like it got bit or scratched or something. So I won't put poison on the boat because I've got my dog, but what I did is I put some poison down into the bilge. Now I didn't know what it was. I put traps, all mouse traps, and they were all triggered. I put a squirrel cage trap on the boat, and I left for a couple of days and came back, and it was tripped, but there was no critter in it, but all of the bait was eaten. So I put the rat poison down underneath the engines. And by the way, I had about 30 pounds of herbs. I'm an herbalist, so I had chamomile, I had flaxseed, all of that in the closet. Later on, I find that about 15 pounds of it had gotten eaten. Can't get into my dog food because I've got that in a plastic container. Anyway, so I'm thinking I got to shoot this thing, but then I said, well, hey, I'm going to put a hole in my boat and I'm going to sink. So I didn't know what it was. So here I was. It was jumping on me at night. I could hear it in the walls for a few weeks until the poison, but maybe 3 weeks after the poison was in. So I'm in the bilge, and I'm working on my AC unit, and I came across it. And this is what bit my ear, crawled on me while I was sleeping for 2 weeks, and talk about the weebie-jeebies. I don't know many people that would have put up with it, or I didn't really freak out too much, but this is a big river rat. And that is what was running across me, bit or scratched my ear, and it's kind of dried up, and I put it on my stern and took a picture of it. And it took me a little while to find it. So that's my critter story. That's not the only critter story. Another critter story. So, you know, the gnats down here are crazy. So you hope for wind. When you have wind, the gnats don't want to come. So what I do for the gnats, other than I've got this here, I burn this stick incense that I got from Amazon, and it does keep the gnats away, but I have to burn 2 of them. But for the gnats, I use this fly trap paper. And what I do with this is I hang it around, and I lay it on the sill. And what it is it's yellow. You peel off one side and you can hang it. And within a day, it's covered with gnats. We have another thing they call deer flies down here. They're like big horse flies back home, but they're very vicious. The other thing we got is they call them palmetto bugs. Palmetto bugs are simply cockroaches, la cucarachas on steroids. They're freaking big. You could put a saddle on them and ride them around your boat. I have none on my boat. I used the Defense, and what you do is you spray all your lines with Frontline. But what I do is I cut a bottle in half, and I should have one to show you, and I slide it up. It's an old method that was used hundreds of years ago on the big ships. They put a cone on the lines because a rat or anything would come up and it wouldn't get over the cone. Now, the other way palmetto bugs or la cucarachas get on your boat is they come in through the drain, because it's not like a drain at home. It just drains right out into the water. So they'll crawl up there. Borax, sodium borate, Boraxo. I covered my whole inside of my lower level with it. It kills them. I also use Max Line, which they like to eat cardboard and whatnot. You can't have any paper or cardboard on your boat because bugs love that. So you got two kinds of cockroaches. You've got the German ones, which are really tiny, and then you got the big palmetto bugs. So those are some of the things that we've got down south here that are aggravating, but you figure out how to work with it. Last week I didn't, my post didn't work. I've lost my little beeper controller to turn on the video automatically. This is my art studio. This is an abstract I'm working on. Another thing, I just purchased a really good camera lens. I got it shipped from Hunt Photo from my friend Jane, who's a good photographer, a great photographer. I now get really good shots of my artwork. I mean, I get some really good detail. In the last week at my website, lawrenceo'learyjr.com, I've probably put 15 new pieces of art, abstracts and landscapes and portraits. So check it out if you get a chance, lawrenceo'learyjr.com. Some of the paintings I've been working on, you guys have seen this one, I think. This is the tiki hut up there where, and I sat there for several hours across the street, but I worked mostly in the studio on this for months. This is the Tiki Hut restaurant right up at the top of the ramp. I don't go in there because I still don't go into public places during this pandemic. Haven't been in a public place in going on 3 years now, but this is the Tiki Hut. That's called Fishtails Restaurant. And this is going to be a little longer because we did lose last week. This is another one that I finished last week. This is called Divisiveness Has to Stop. Divisiveness has to end. You can fill in the blanks and understand what it means to yourself. It's one of my abstracts, which I have put a new series of abstracts. A lot of people that know me know I've been studying metaphysics for many years, so I have a whole series in my abstracts right now. I've got 5 pieces, 16 by 20s, and they're titled Metaphysics 1, Metaphysics 2, and they have a metaphysical message to them, but I'll leave that to the viewer. I finished this painting last week. This is a town that I was in called Brunswick. This is the Port of Brunswick, and this is the little town down there. It's got kind of a Mexican, kind of an old world feel. It's really nice. But I worked on this for several weeks, and this is Brunswick, Georgia, the Port of Brunswick town. I finally finished this portrait, which was long overdue, Bonnie, and it probably doesn't show real good in the light here, but anyway, that was a commission I started. She was a model in an art class that I was teaching in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, like 2018. So, with all of that said, Kibo is doing great too, and I miss everybody. I'm starting to play the guitar again. Every time I pick it up, I can see my friend Larry sitting across from me, the bass player, and my best friend. He passed away at Christmas time, but So it was cold this morning here. It was 30 degrees and 34. But right now it's about 60, and all week it's going to be in the 80s. Anyway, this is, by the way, another painting. I just put this up here to photograph. This is another metaphysics painting. And thanks for watching again. I miss all my friends and my family and my fellow boaters, my fellow artists, my fellow musicians, my fellow actors. I mean, you know, I miss the times my drummer John Fusco, great drummer. We play every week. Larry was the bass man. I played the guitar. Sometimes Steve Zabinski or Dan Ventura would come in and play some keyboards with us. Really liked that when the keyboards would show up. And our singers, Donna and Jane and Janice and Cheryl. And Cheryl passed away too. We miss her. She passed away on a birthday with COVID. She was 60. Anyway, love you all, miss you all, and I know we got to get Kibo in here. Come on, Kibo. We got to say hi to everybody. There's Kibo down there. Kibo. We did the video and you weren't sitting in my lap. What do you think that was about? I know, you want a piece of steak, huh? Yeah, you get steak every day. Steak every day. Give me a kiss. Oh, good kiss. Take care, my friends.